What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rad Up All Night. It is really late, guys. It is post-WrestleMania late. I was contemplating about doing this today, and as the night started getting longer and longer, I was getting more tired, and I just got kind of a little bummed out from the end of WrestleMania, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this tonight, but man, work's been so crazy, and I don't see it getting easier this week. So it's like I need to take these opportunities that I have available to just sneak some content out, because if not, I'd be contentless all week, and I do not want that to happen. So we'll do a little chat tonight, guys. We'll talk about some current physical media, the state of physical media, my thoughts on that, my opinions on that, things that I'd like to see, things that I don't like to see. And we can just chat. I don't want to go any more than an hour. It's already really late here, and I most likely have to be up and at 'em pretty early. So before I start, I'll just see who's in the house, who came by to say what's up. Let's see. Uncle Bill, what's up, man? No, I definitely do not want that Maximum Overdrive Steelbook, but we'll definitely get into that for sure. Hall & Oates, what's going on? Welcome. Allie, what's up? What's in a name? Best countdown calls and oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Carlos, what's going on? Time to get rad. Yes, thanks, Mel. Don't forget to kill that like button. As you can see, it's late. And guys, if you haven't checked it out, make sure to go over to the Rad Pack YouTube page. We just did a live show last night with Mel from My Killer Podcast and Justin at Movie Watch Daily, and we talked all things Garbage Pail Kids, and it was a fun time. So if you haven't checked that episode out, gonna go over and subscribe to the Rad Pack YouTube channel. Let me see. Scratch Burno, what's going on? All notes. Snoop looks stiff as hell. Yeah, but you know what? Like, I gotta give Snoop all the credit in the world, because he was in a weird situation, and for a celebrity, he really took full advantage of it. I don't care if they said, go do this, or you got to get in there and do something. But I mean, man, he was put in a bad situation, and he did the best he could. He could have stood there stiff and not did anything, but he took it upon himself to go in and just try to entertain people. So I have to give Snoop a lot of credit for what happened tonight. Dalton, what's up? Let's get rad. Mizzy E, what's going on? The Arrow Playhouse 4K looks good. Yeah, I'll get into that too. Horror Collector, what's going on? All right, gang, I'll get back to the chat, but if I do this, I'm going to end up hanging out on there all night. So, one of the reasons I wanted to do this is I haven't done it in a while. I think like 2 years ago, maybe I did a big video on, movies that I think need upgrades, or, movies that haven't hit HD yet, or something like that, or even DVD for that matter, but things that needed upgrades. And I knew I was overdue for that type of video, because a lot of things in my list had already kind of come out at that point. So I wanted to make a new list, and I was like, okay, well, how can I do it without just kind of making a list like everybody else does? Like, what else can I do to just kind of keep it more than just a ranking list, or just a list of things? So I've been doing this a long time, and, I've been collecting hard when it comes to, let's even just start from DVD, because I was collecting VHS, but my really true VHS collecting didn't really start until I started collecting DVDs. Like, I had VHS tapes, but I really wasn't like hardcore collecting anything until probably 2000, maybe 1999, if I'm thinking of my dates right. So it's been a long time for me. And, going through the VHS, and then moving to DVD, and then moving to special edition DVDs, then moving to Steelbook DVDs, and then moving to Blu-rays, and then collector's edition Blu-rays, and then Steelbook Blu-rays, and, now on to 4K. And it's just been a long ride. So, my mindset as a collector has started to change very recently, actually. And not everybody has to follow what I say. Not everybody has to collect the way I do. I think the beauty of collecting is kind of having your own rules with your collection. But one of the reasons I did want to kind of talk about this is not only for my thoughts on what's going on in the physical media world right now. But also, I had mentioned this a little bit before, but I get a lot of messages, mostly on Instagram, from people who, watch the physical media community and they read the physical media news, right? And then they come to me and ask me my opinions on certain releases. Hey, would you upgrade to this? I already have this edition. Should I get this? What do you think about this? Oh my God, if I don't get this, I kind of feel like I'm left out because I know everybody that I watch on YouTube will get this and I just don't have the money. And, what do you think? And like I said before, it shouldn't be that way. You need to collect the way you financially can collect and not worry about what I'm doing or the next guy's doing or anything like that. Because we're here to help. We're not here to swerve anybody into hard times. And obviously I could continue to buy the way I was buying and doing that for the years and years that I was doing it, because there was points in time, especially in my collecting DVD days, that I was buying everything. Like if it was horror, I had it. Like I didn't care if it sucked, if it was great, if I'd never seen it, whatever. If it was something I'd never seen before, or it said horror on there, I was purchasing it for my collection. And that's why my collection is, especially in the DVD realm, is very, very large, because I was just buying everything. Even when it came to other movies too, like I was buying a lot of different comedies and action and all this other stuff, mostly stuff I liked, but at the same time, it was, I was trying things I hadn't seen before or whatever. But back then things were different. I could go to a used store, and, DVDs would be marked down to like $1.99, $2, $5. You go to Blockbuster, it'd be like 5 for $20, like you got a lot of good deals back then where you could haul up on a lot of stuff and not technically break the bank, where now, the average price for physical media, Blu-ray or 4K, is $30. That's a big difference than what we were used to back then. So, the way I collected back then and the way I collect now is a little bit different, because obviously when I was getting 5 titles before, I might be able to only get 1 now, when it comes to just how much money they cost. So again, that was one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it, just because I wanted to make sure if anybody sees this that has messaged me or feels the same way, that, hey, they can't keep up with me or anybody else that's doing haul videos, and then they feel less of a collector, right? Like, I'm here to kind of tell you to make your own rules, right? Everybody's got different rules that they want to follow, and it doesn't mean your collection's better or worse than anybody else, because I'm in a more like quality over quantity type of headspace now, just because, again, space in your collection becomes an issue. And then it's like, well, is it worth having all this stuff if, number one, you're not even watching it, and number two, it's on the floor in piles? Because if you watched my room tour video, I said specifically that I have a lot of things, but I like things to have their place. I like things to be organized. I don't like clutter. I like things to be neat. And I try my best to make that happen with what I have. And sometimes it gets a little overboard. I had to buy a new shelf and stuff like that. But anyway, the biggest issue that I'm having now with physical media when it comes to the news is, like, every day we're getting new news, like, hey, this movie's coming out, this movie's hitting 4K, this movie's, which is all fine and good, but at the same time, when it's like the same movies over and over and over again, it just really kind of gets annoying after a while. And I feel that some of the studios know their market really well, and they know that we're collectors and we want specific things. Like, I'm going to give you a prime example, like Black Phone, Megan, X, Pearl, like all these movies that came out on Blu-ray only. And, I'm not like a 4K snob. Like, I really don't see the biggest difference between Blu-ray and 4K as I did between DVD and Blu-ray. So to me, when I'm having this conversation tonight about all this stuff I'm going to talk about, two things I don't know anything about. I don't know how rights and stuff work. I don't know who has rights to what, why things aren't out because of the rights. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of that stuff. So this is just me spitballing, like, what I would like to see from my personal preference or wants or needs or whatever. So again, same thing when it comes to when they're releasing Blu-rays and not 4Ks. Maybe there's reasons that I don't know. So I'm not taking that into effect when I'm speaking this way. But if I had to choose, if someone stood there and said, okay, you can have a 4K of Megan or a Blu-ray of Megan, which one do you want? I'll take the 4K just because it's the highest quality. You get a Blu-ray included as well. Like, if you don't have a 4K player, maybe at different rooms of the house. But to only give you the option of Blu-ray, which is fine, but you know that movie is coming out on 4K relatively soon. Because we've seen it happen before with things like Malignant, where I jumped at the Blu-ray and be like, oh, well, I guess this is the only way they're going to do it. And then 6 months later, it's out on 4K, and it's like, well, what the heck? Like, and I feel like they're really trying to toy with the collectors when it comes to that, because everybody wants things day one because they want to show it off, they want to do a video on it, they want to post a picture and stuff like that. So they know that. So they figure, okay, we'll do this first, let everybody jump on it, then we'll put out a 4K, or then we'll put out a steelbook or whatever it may be to get them to buy it again, because we're going to tell them, hey, there's a better edition out here. Maybe this one has a slit, maybe this one's 4K, maybe this one's a steelbook, like whatever it is. But I'm at the stage now where it's like, I'm done with those games. So it's either going to be like, I haven't bought Megan yet. Have I seen the unrated version of Megan? No, I have not. Could I probably stream it? Yeah, I probably could. I haven't bought Silent Night yet. I haven't bought Black Phone yet. I have these movies that I want. I haven't purchased them because I'm not going to play the Malignant game anymore unless I'm at a point now where it's like, you know what? I will buy Megan. I will buy Black Phone. I will buy them, but it's going to be on Black Friday when I can get them for cheap. And then if they come out with a 4K later, like, I'm cool. I'm fine. I don't need the 4K at that point, because to me, like I said, I don't care if anything I talk about today is going to come out in 4K or Blu-ray. That doesn't matter to me. I'm more or less like, it needs to be an upgrade from DVD or below. That's what I'm going to kind of talk about. But I'll jump back to the chat and I'll kind of go through what you guys are saying. But like I said, like the biggest thing is these big studios that are doing this double dipping thing because they know we're going to do it. And the only way they're not going to continue that route is if we don't buy that initial Blu-ray, because their mindset is if the Blu-ray sells really well, then the 4K should sell really well. So we'll put one out. But if we don't buy that Blu-ray, because we know that, you know, it's hard, because if we don't buy the Blu-ray, the 4K probably won't come out because they won't think it's a good seller. So I don't know. But for me, it's like, listen, if we're going to play that game, I'm just going to buy it on the cheap. Like, I'm not going to buy it day one. I'm not going to spend 4K money for a Blu-ray. I'm just not going to do it at this point. But if I get the Blu-ray cheap, I'm happy. I don't need the 4K. It's not a make or break for me at this point. Another thing is, too, it's like with other companies that are doing 4K upgrades of their titles that they already released. Scream Factory, you know, they're doing a lot of double dipping. I'm being very cautious on which ones I bought. I bought all the collector's editions on the Blu-ray, and they're fine to me. Some movies I'll upgrade to 4K because they're just favorites of mine, like something like The Fog. I feel like, hey, that would have looked really cool in 4K. Or I'm trying to think of another one. Prince of Darkness, like that would have looked cool in 4K, so I'll get that one. But you know, I'm not going to buy The Craft. I'm not going to buy, you know, Bubba Hotep. Like, they're fine movies, but my editions are okay. They're fine for those movies. So that's just kind of where I'm at now. I'm done completing things like that. I'm not really working on completing Scream Factory stuff anymore because of things that they pull like that. Like, hey, now we got a steelbook. Now we got this. I'm done at that point with them. I'll get some stuff here and there, but I'm not trying to complete that at all anymore. I'm actually even selling some stuff off. If I can make good money on it now, and I know for a fact it's probably going to come out on 4K in the next year, then I'm gonna do it, and then I'll buy the 4K. Same thing with Arrow. I love Arrow, but you know, if they're going to release the same edition I have on Blu-ray, where there's no difference in the edition I'm getting except for the Blu-ray, then I'm not going to get it. But I will say this: I missed out on Waterworld the first time around, and they're coming out with a 4K, so I'll say, okay, I'll get it. So again, from a standpoint of someone who hasn't been collecting a long time, this is probably a good time for you because you're finally getting things that you never could get your hands on before. So for people like you, this might be a good time. Like people that didn't, you know, complete a Scream Factory collection and now are rebuying everything again on 4K, then this might be a good way for you to start, is just to get the 4Ks because you didn't already go through this a couple different times. But again, that's just my rules right now, and I don't feel bad about it. And I know, like I said, I've talked to people that will message me and be like, well, why should I upgrade this? You know, I have the Scream Factory Blu-ray. I like it, but, you know, I just feel like if I don't get the 4K, then, you know, I'm not that cool of a collector. And it's like, man, if you like the Blu-ray and you don't want to spend the money, then don't do it. Same thing with Criterion. Same thing. I'm not gonna upgrade if they're gonna give me the same exact edition with the same cover and all the stuff. That's it. I'm fine with what I have, and that's just kind of where I'm at right now when it comes to that. And I know somebody brought up Maximum Overdrive, and the same thing. If Vestron is going to stop playing the same game Scream Factory does, where they're going to give you like steel books like a couple weeks down, like later or after or whatever, like I'm good, because Vestron is actually one title that I'm completing. Like I'm caught up. I've got all the slip covers. They've got the numbers on the spine. I'm not going to start doing a steelbook collection, or I'm not going to get rid of one of my numbered spines and throw a steelbook in there. Like, to me, I'm just not going to do it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's the same exact disc with the different cover. So if they continue to put steelbooks out, Vestron, of movies that I already own from them, that's fine. I'm just not going to get it. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of done with the double dipping when it comes to a lot of things at this point. So I will go to the chat, and then I'll kind of transition this into, like, things I'd like to see these companies do now. Things maybe outside the box, or to just kind of mix it up. And I'll go through that in a minute. But I'll go through your chat, because maybe you're bringing up things that I haven't thought of right off the cuff, and we can talk about it. So I'm way behind, guys. So I'm gonna just try to just start grabbing a couple things here. Let's see. Dalton's right. Yeah, collecting can be a blessing and a curse. Of course it can. Just like anything else. It is expensive, yes. It's true. I mean, you have to pick and choose at this point. I'm sure everybody wants it all. And nobody can really afford it, technically. I mean, I'm sure. But again, I don't really want it all anymore. Because, like, I don't want a whole house with movies stacked to my ceiling, because I have nowhere to put them anymore. And I have a lot of space to work with. So when it comes to having it all, like, I'm not really in that mindset. If someone came up my house and said, hey, I'll take everything you have on DVD and I'm going to hand you the Blu-ray or the 4K of it, then okay, then they can swap my shelves. That's fine. But as far as me, going back and getting everything, nah. Yeah, I mean, definitely. And that's another thing we can talk about too. Yeah, I mean, I think they're fine, but I mean, I'm not like, I need the 4K of specific things. I just don't. Okay. Okay. This one, Creepshow may take a pass for, like, Creepshow I probably will get. Unfortunately, because they did a really nice edition. Like, the edition they had, they put a lot of time into. It came in a hard box. I mean, it's a real cool edition. Now, I gotta see what this edition looks like. I mean, if they're gonna give us a really even nicer edition, then I'll probably bite on it, because I absolutely love Creepshow. But if they're just gonna go and give us just a regular slipcover and have it go, then I don't know. I don't know. I have to see, like, is there things on this that I don't have? Is there special features? To be honest, I was eyeballing the Cinemuseum Creepshow box set. I mean, I think aesthetically that thing looks fantastic, but it's all Blu-ray still, which I already have, so that's kind of why I didn't go that route. But I think it's a real cool set. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so this is another one. So Severin did Changeling 4K, and Second Sight is doing it. Exactly, that's exactly one. So Severin did Changeling on Blu-ray, then they did Changeling on 4K, I think. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I bought Changeling on Blu-ray, and it looked great, and I really liked that movie, and I liked that edition. Then Severin kind of did the whole thing with, like, oh, but now we're gonna do it in 4K. I didn't buy that 4K because I'm not doing that. But Second Sight is like a different animal, right? So if Second Sight's gonna give it a 4K treatment, the big thick box, booklets, cool stuff inside, you know what? For a movie like that, I may make the upgrade. Like, there's specific rhymes and reasons why I'm going to do things, and then I'll just sell off my Severin. I don't need it anymore, unless, like, again, I look at it and the Severin's got documentaries that this other one doesn't. I mean, I don't know, but more or less, I'll probably sell the Severin because Second Sight is just a better company. Yeah, it's a common problem. What's up, Ken? He says he tried to hold off Megan Strong to getting it. Yeah, I mean, it happens. But if I were you, I would say that's it. Like, I'm done with Megan, unless, you know, it gets some kind of special treatment, right? Like, if it just is a studio 4K with a slip, like, to me, that doesn't mean anything. It's exactly the same. There's not going to be that much difference between that same company's Blu-ray and 4K. In my opinion, that would be worth an upgrade. But if all of a sudden, you know, in a weird world, Second Sight gets Megan and does a huge box set or something, like, then okay, then if you really like the movie, then maybe, you know, that's a cooler addition for you to have. But studio releases, and honestly, guys, like, I'm kind of done with most studio releases. I don't buy anything, just some select horror stuff. And like I said, I passed on a lot of it just due to, you know, the games that they're playing with the let's not release a 4K and all that stuff. But more or less, like, I'm not buying much studio titles. Yeah, Afro Whale says like the rapid fire upgrade releases. Horror Collector says, I'm the same boat as you. I've been collecting since 2000. I'm on my own edition of Scream Factory and Arrow and Blue. Yeah. So, I mean, again, you do what you think, you know, is good to do, but what's going to happen too is like even like a resale value. Like, let's say you said, okay, well, I'm going to buy Hills Have Eyes on 4K and I'm going to get rid of my Hills Have Eyes Blue, and it's the exact same thing except there's a different disc inside. That Hills Have Eyes on Blue, you know, you could be like, well, I'll just sell this one off. Well, now that's almost become obsolete at that point. So it's almost like you'd get nothing for it. So is it even worth the minimal quality change that you're going to get out of the 4K? You might actually watch the 4K and be like, well, Hills Have Eyes looks way darker. I can barely see anybody. Because that kind of movie, you may get that, where those blacks really take over to a point where you're like, I can't see what the hell's going on. Because a lot of that movie takes place at night and all that stuff. So, you know, it's a slippery slope for sure when you get some of these 4Ks because the black levels are so high. And I've seen a lot of movies where, you know, it's not, for me, it's too dark. Like, I don't care if it's supposed to look like that or not, but if I can't see what's going on, sometimes it's like, I'd rather just watch the Blu-ray where I can see what the hell's happening. But yeah, I totally hear you. I'm kind of done with that, unless for whatever reason I don't own the title they're re-releasing. Yeah, of course. So that was another one where two companies released the same title around the same time, and you bought the one that was released first, didn't realize the one that happened with Thriller, that happened with Dog Soldiers. So, you know, that sucks too, because then you already purchased something, then you got to purchase it again. Obviously, the Second Sight one is going to blow Scream Factory out of the water, but a lot of people didn't know about that Second Sight one until it was too late. But yeah, I didn't even upgrade Dog Soldiers. I mean, it's a cool movie, but the Blu-ray, it actually isn't that great from Scream Factory, but I don't love it enough to need to spend another $40 on it. Of course, I own Deadly Friend. I own Deadly Friend on DVD and Blu-ray. Yes, it's a great movie. I love that movie. What's up, Roland? I agree. That would have been a bit of a more of a little reason to purchase. And that's the route I thought they were going, because they started putting everything out on those hard boxes, right? Like they did all the Halloweens, and then for some weird reason they did Elvira, and then you're like, okay, well maybe they're going this route, and then it went back to the regular slipcovers again. So I don't know if it was like a trial or what, but yeah, I don't know. I think that if they did do it that way, I think it would give people a little bit more of a oomph to say, okay, well this is a little bit different. The only thing that they do, I will give them credit for, is I actually like the original poster art better than the commissioned art. So like if someone held them two in front of me and said pick one, I would always pick the 4K just because I would rather have that slipcover on there. And I'm not even really a slipcover guy, but for Scream Factory ones, I am a completist when it comes to the collected editions and stuff, when it has slips and all that junk. Let's see. Severin has good news and bad news tomorrow. Okay, I'm interested to see what Severin has to do. What's the bad news? Maybe I think the good news or the bad news is probably going to be they're coming back out with Four Flies on Grey Velvet. And I don't know if people are going to look at that as good news or bad news. But we knew that was coming, unfortunately. But I'm curious to see what they have to say. So they're just going to kind of do like the double slip thing. Yeah, I'm not sold yet on that. I'll have to see. I haven't even seen it yet, so I have to see what they're going to say about that. So here's a funny question. So did I give Vinegar Syndrome $10 on the mystery item for April Fool's Day? I did, because we all learned our lesson last year. When they did the same thing, and then they came out with like a very limited item, and everybody was kind of bummed that they didn't do it because they didn't know what it was and they didn't know what was going. And this year they're doing it, and hopefully more people bought it due to that. But I did buy it because I'm curious. And last time they did it, it was something good. Let me see. I was like, what the heck? What's up, Austin? Can I stand up here? I'm gonna stand up, but I'll just. Thanks for popping in, Austin. Thanks for popping in. Robzilla, what's up, broski? Homie, cutting class. I don't mind cutting class. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's, I'm a big 80s guy. It's kind of slasher-esque. It's fine. I don't think it's a great movie. I don't think it's awful. Like a lot of people do think it's really bad. I think it's fine. It's not one that I go back to often. It's okay. You got your Brad Pitt in there or whatnot. Okay, so here's one. I saw somebody mention it earlier, and I apologize who that was that I might have skipped. I am not going to buy 4K Lighthouse for many reasons. Number one, I've never seen it. Number two, I just bought it for $5 on Blu-ray. So for those two reasons alone, I'm not going to upgrade it. And if I love it, then maybe I'll think about it. But again, I don't see myself really needing to upgrade that. I just got the Blu-ray for $5, probably 3 months ago, maybe on Amazon. It was on sale. So I'm going to wait and I'll check it out. And I just don't think I'm going to upgrade that because, most of my A24 movies are just standalone movies. So I kind of keep them together. So to have like one and like big packaging and stuff, like, I don't really need it. So yeah, I'm going to pass on Lighthouse. I don't own everything. I don't. Let me see. A new feature is a new scan on Creepshow. Yeah, I mean, sure, cool. All these new scans and stuff like that, like, to me, it's not that big of a deal anymore. We're not talking DVD to high def and shit. Like, it's not a make or break for me. Like, it's not that big of a jump quality. I mean, we saw that with Martin, if you guys got it. Like, I know they didn't have great stuff to work with, but at the same time, it wasn't even a huge jump from a DVD quality, in my opinion. So, I don't care if it's a new scan or whatever. That's not going to do it for me. I'm more interested in what else it has on it. Like, is it going to have Just Desserts, the documentary on there? Like, then maybe we'll talk. If it's going to come with some cool shit, then maybe. But I mean, I don't think I'm going to watch it and be like, wow, this blows it all away. I think I'll be like, oh, it's cool. I guess I have to read more into it. I haven't even looked at it yet. I don't know what it looks like, what's on it. Joe Reese, what's up? Click now Steelbooks. How they've ever there before you. That's cool. I mean, again, everybody's got their own thing. If I have a choice when it comes to a studio title, if it's Steelbook or Blu-ray or regular edition slipcover, if it's a studio release, I always choose Steelbook. Always. Boutique labels, I don't do Steelbooks. I know it's kind of a weird rule. So it's like boutiques, I do non-slip. I do mostly slips, and then mainstream stuff, I do Steelbooks. That's kind of how I roll with all that. Oh, of course, man. There's a big market for that. Big market for slips. It's funny because Mel laughs at me because literally, like, I'm going to say maybe 40%, maybe a little less now, because like I said, I'm not buying a lot of studio stuff. Maybe about 30% of my movies, if they come with a slipcover, I take it off and I throw it in a big box. So I literally have a box full of, like, I don't know, hundreds of slipcovers. And sometimes if Mel's looking for one or whatever, she'll message me, and if I have it, I'll send it to her. I don't need them. I rather have stuff like that look all the same on the shelf instead of having things bumping out and some low, some high. So it just looks better to me on the shelf. But like Vinegar Syndrome, whose slipcovers are more than just a piece of little paper, those I'm really into because to me it's like an art piece. There's a lot of things I've talked about that just really irk me. I'm trying to see if I have anything around here I can show you. Let's see. I don't have something to demo. But like basically, like I hate when movies have like that strip across the top that says like Blu-ray plus DVD or 4K, like that blue strip with the silver strip. Like I hate that. I wish everything was just flush, kind of like how how Vinegar Syndrome does it. Hold on, I'm way behind on the chat now. Hold on. I lost my spot. If 8K comes to physical media, I mean, I'll check it out for sure to see. I mean, I don't even know what that would entail. I don't know how it would get any better, to be honest with you. Yeah, Arrow always does a good job, but like I said, I'm positive it's not going to be like a favorite of mine. I think I'll either going to think it's cool or I'll be like, meh. I don't have hope that I'm going to be like, this is, the greatest movie ever, which needs me to then go spend another $40 just to then, I don't know, sit on a $5 Blu-ray. I don't know. I don't, and I'm sure black and white's going to look good and high quality. Arrow always does a good job. So like I said, if you're a huge fan of the movie or you don't own it and you've wanted it, maybe that's the best way to go. I have a Shock 'em Dead Blu-ray. I don't know who put it out though. I don't think it was Vinegar Syndrome. What? I was at a swap meet today and I had a guy that had Tales from the Crypt shirts for $300. Shirts? Wow, yeah. Prices are hard. I mean, even if like there are a lot of like if you try to look up old school wrestling shirts or concert shirts, they're big money now. Big money. Dalton, this is interesting that you bring this up. So I kind of fell victim to some of this. So I got the second sight Texas Chainsaw, but the movie you need a nice looking release. I got City Living Dead 4K, but the Blu-ray on the ground. Yeah, so that's funny that you say that. I bought the Steelbook for Texas Chainsaw because I didn't feel like waiting. And it wasn't expensive. It was cheap. And I liked the artwork on it. But I did pre-order... actually, know what happened? I pre-ordered Second Sight and I pre-ordered the Steelbook, but I forgot I pre-ordered the Steelbook. And then it just kind of showed up. And I was like, oh, I thought I only ordered the Second Sight, but I was like, oh, I guess I did. So whatever, I'll check it out. I think the Second Sight Texas Chainsaw is going to be really cool. And Texas Chainsaw is a movie I will rebuy because I just love it so much. So I have no problem with that. I want to see what kind of treatment it gets from Second Sight. I like the idea of Texas Chainsaw getting a lot of love from them. I did pass on the first. I do have the Blu-ray on the Blue Underground City Living Dead. I have that, but I've had it for, I don't know. I feel like maybe like 6 years, maybe 7 years. I got it when it first came out, like a long time ago. So I've had it forever. So I passed on the new 4K. But then when they said they were coming back out with the cheaper version, I just bought that because like that's another thing. Basically, people paid like an extra $15 for a sticker sheet and a soundtrack or something. So I was fine with just the cheaper edition. So now I'll just try to get rid of my Blu-ray of it. Thanks, Cody. What's going on, man? Are they? Okay, so I have all these on Blu-ray from Synapse already. No, I think I have Just Before Dawn from Code Red, I think. But I definitely have Street Trash on Blu-ray. I definitely have Frankenhooker. I will buy Frankenhooker on 4K. No questions asked. And I will probably buy Street Trash as well. I love those movies. I've had them on Blu-ray for a real long time. I will buy Frankenhooker on any format. I absolutely love it. Mel knows, yeah, slip in a box. That's what I got. I got a slips in the box over here. We do have swap meets, but they're like not that close to me, and I don't really go. I've been a couple times, but not enough. To be honest, dude, I would go and I would be searching for like VHS tapes probably, because I don't have like a lot of patience anymore with certain things. Like, you should see me when I go to a store. I used to go to a store and look at the DVDs like one by one all the way through, then I pick out what I want. I literally walk by movies now at stores, and if it's not sitting in front of me, I don't get anything. Like, I don't have time to like go around and like flick through everything again. Like, I have so much, it's like, what am I going to find in here that I don't already have, or I can't go online and get it if I want it? So I just don't have patience. So like the thing like swap meets, like sometimes you go and there's just like buckets full of shit. Like, I don't have time to play around in there. So that's why I don't usually go. I mean, if VHS would probably be the only thing I'd want to get there. If everything was organized at those things and set up nice where I could see them, and just by standing there, then it's a different story. But that's just me. I'm just very like, my brain is always like, nope, gotta do the next thing, gotta do the next thing, gotta do the next thing. Like, I don't have time to stop. Like, I'm always on the go. To be honest, like what I'm doing right now is like literally like the only time my brain is like focused on like one thing. Usually anything else that I'm doing, when I'm working and I'm training, I'm focused on that. But like 9 times out of 10, if I'm not in those zones, like I'm just thinking of like, okay, what's next? Where do I gotta be? What do I gotta do? Original Fuzz, what's up, man? Welcome for jumping in. I'm not part of the no slip, no dip crew. I'll tell you that much. Not even close. Let's see. I'm going to scroll through. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'm going to go through some of my wants, right? So I told you kind of what my nots are. My not is like not always upgrading anymore, not buying multiple editions of the same movie. Like, it's not happening anymore. And I just want you guys, if you guys can't do that, then don't feel guilty about not doing it, because I'm trying to come at it from the angle of, hey, like, I'm not doing that either anymore. So I'm just trying to help other people out that may be watching us and thinking they've got to get everything we get. So I kind of told you my nots and my thoughts on like current physical media, the state of physical media, and how I think they are definitely taking advantage of the collectors. For sure they are, because it doesn't make any other sense otherwise. We're the only ones buying this shit. And that's how we know when we go to these stores like Best Buy and Walmart and stuff, and everything's bare. I mean, Walmart around me like literally doesn't have anything besides DVDs now, which is super weird. So that like things are on their way out. Best Buy is bare half the time. Target's barely got anything over there now. So I don't really do a lot of shopping at stores anymore. Unless Best Buy has like a steelbook that I might want that's like limited, I might run over there just to check it out. So what I want to talk about now is like, what do I want from a lot of these companies? Now, studio labels, I don't really care, to be honest, what they do. I mean, I know like Paramount Presents and stuff are putting out some good things. Like Red Eye was a good release, but you know what? I'm not paying. I think I had it in my Amazon cart and it was like $30 to $40. Like, nah, I'm not paying that for a Paramount Presents title. It's not going to happen. I will get Red Eye, but it's got to go down in price. I'm not jumping on that. I'm fine. So they're doing okay. I mean, I think Lionsgate's doing pretty good with their steelbooks. I'll buy those. They're relatively pretty good priced. They do a good job with the artwork and stuff. Those I'll jump on, but more or less, I'm not too worried about it. So when it comes to a lot of these, like I said, I don't know the rights. I don't know who owns what, but I'm just going to give you some of my ideas. Now, I think Lionsgate's got something cool they're doing with and I think other companies are doing it too with the steelbooks. I think that's pretty cool. They should probably keep doing that for specific movies. Obviously not release the movie and then 3 weeks later release the steelbook. I don't think that's not cool. They got to do it. They got to do it together and let people choose right off the bat. And, I know people are going to talk about, hey, I want to see True Lies. Yeah, that's fine. I want to see True Lies too. We know it's probably coming, hopefully. And, but I'm going to kind of think about some different things right here. And I have some things kind of set up and I'm just going to start picking away and grabbing. So here's one I definitely want to see. And I've talked about this plenty of times. Everybody knows they want Trick or Treat. It had a really nice German Blu-ray media book. I did not get it, but it was a cool looking edition. I had it in my cart for many years and I just kind of missed it because I didn't pull the trigger fast enough. I think this has to be coming. I don't know if it's a rights issue with the music or anything like that. There was rumblings that they were working on it. I don't know if I'm supposed to say who was working on it. I kind of got it from an inside source, but I don't know. It seems like it's halted a little bit, so I don't know the state of Trick or Treat. But I think in time, it's something that we're probably going to see, and that thing's not going to be dead on DVD anymore. Another one that's pretty interesting to talk about is one that we were supposed to get an upgrade to, and that's Bug. And I think Kino was supposed to release this movie. And this is a real awesome movie from like the 2000s, early 2000s, 2006. A William Friedkin movie. This movie rocks. Michael Shannon just kills it in this movie. I know Kino's going to put it out. I was actually really excited that they were going to put this out. And then I knew there was some problems with it, so they canceled it. I'm hearing that it was some issues with, I think, William Friedkin. They were working with him on something else, and he was kind of a pain in the ass. So, like, I think they just pulled the plug on all his stuff. That's kind of what I heard. Don't know how true that is. But this would be really cool to see, and I hope that, you know, they do give it a shot and try to get it. To me, that always felt like a Scream Factory title to me. But I would love to see Bug get some love. And when it comes to all these things, guys, like I said at the beginning, I do not care if it's Blu-ray or 4K. If it's both, cool, I'll get the 4K. If it's just one, awesome. You know, and I know Kino's doing a lot of Olive titles now, so I have like all the Olive stuff. You know, things like what's the one they just did there? Kelly Preston, Secret Admirer. I'm sure they're gonna put out like Thinner. I'm sure they're gonna probably put out. There was something else. I have all those old titles. They're probably going to re-release, and you know they're all on Blu-ray, and I haven't really pulled the trigger on them yet because you know the only difference that from a visual standpoint is that like, hey, these come with slipcovers. Some people have said that the transfers are a lot better, you know, like on Secret Admirer and stuff. So I probably will pull the trigger on it, but it's going to be during a Kino sale. I didn't jump on it just because I do own all those already on Blu-ray. This is one that I think we're getting. I think it was kind of announced. I haven't heard much about it lately, but it's Fright Night 2, and this is one that everybody's been wanting. This is a very, very valuable, rare DVD to own, and I absolutely love this movie. I've loved it since the day I've seen it. I cannot wait to get an edition of this. The last I heard is Cinemuseum was putting it out, and I've been really kind of keep my eyes open for that because I will buy a really nice edition of this. Will anybody else pull it out? I put it out. I've heard rumblings as well. Same thing like I said with Trick or Treat. Same company, actually. And I just kind of heard a halt on that as well. And I don't know why. I don't know if Cinemuseum is doing their own thing or they got the rights because I know they're not necessarily from this country. So I don't know what's going on. But Fright Night 2 is one that I think we're going to get. I think people are trying to get it because they know how much it means to the fans. So I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait till we get some more news on that thing. So I see somebody said the Artisan DVD is a full screen. Yeah, it's a full screen. I also have this on. I was gifted a real nice HD Blu-ray of Fright Night 2, not the out of the one from the other country or whatever. This is another one that's not an official release, but it looks really good. And so I do have a widescreen HD version of Fright Night 2. But for sake of the video, I just wanted to show the DVD because that's what most people have in the US. The next one is a movie I've talked about a lot on this channel that doesn't have anything besides a VHS and a Laserdisc, and it's Patrick Dempsey's Run. And it's from 1990. I've talked a lot about this. I actually did a full video on it, so if you go back and check out my series Rad Recommendations, I do a cool rundown on Run. And look at this. This is pretty cool. It's got the pink on the VHS. So yeah, this is an awesome movie here. Very, very cool. This needs an upgrade. I don't know what the deal is. I'm seeing who's got it right here. Hollywood Pictures is what put this VHS out. I don't know where those movies are now. I have no idea. Maybe some of you guys know, and that maybe will give us an idea of who owns this. But I have contacted a couple companies that I work with about them trying to get this title. So it's circulating. You know, they've talked to me about it. but obviously there's no movement or anything that I've heard on this. But this is one I really, really want to see. It's a real cool action movie from the early 90s, actually from 1990. Kelly Preston, Patrick Dempsey, a really, really awesome movie that I want to see get a some kind of upgrade. To me, that screams Kino, a Kino edition of that for me. That's kind of what I feel when I see that, or maybe like an MVD Rewind, I feel like would put something like that out. That's just my opinion. Then the next one is a VHS. This one as well, I think this is early 90s. Let me just confirm. 94. And it's a horror movie called The Paperboy. And this is Republic Pictures, so I don't know who owns that now, but I could see this like on an MVD Rewind. I could see this on Vinegar Syndrome as well. This title. I don't know where this is and why it doesn't have another edition. So Paperboy, it's kind of been sitting on VHS for a long time, and I think it's kind of one people should revisit and have a little more of a resurgence. This is another one I've talked about a lot on my channel. I'm a big fan of this. I've talked to some people about this as well from some companies, and that is Elves. You guys can check it out. I did a full commentary with Dead Pit on this movie. This is an 80s, is it 80s or 90? 89. 89 Christmas horror movie called Elves. It's with Dan Haggerty, aka Grizzly Adams. So Elves is a real cool movie. It's cheesy as hell. So I mean, a lot of people might be like, that movie sucks. It sucks, but it's like an 80s cool movie. Weird effects, wildness. This is just screams 80s to me, and I absolutely love this so much. I mean, to me this screams TerraVision. This title. So I know they did do the vinyl soundtrack for it. I actually have the cassette tape right in front of me that they did. They did a vinyl soundtrack as well. So I don't know if they have any kind of in with Elves, what the deal is. And I know that they said they have like 150 titles in the works right now. So it would be awesome to see Elves kind of hit around Christmas time. I think... Hold on, I see disconnected running in. It's probably the best it could look, but I literally put my DVD in and put that in because when I first put it on, I was like, I thought this was gonna look better. Nah, not the capacity that I thought it was gonna be at all. I mean, I'm talking from somebody who's like, you know, I don't know what they used. I know now, but I'm not a video audio guy. I don't really know the ins and outs of that, but I'm trying to compare it to other movies from that time frame that we're getting on 4K and stuff. And I just didn't think it looked that great at all. I mean, sure, it's probably the best it's going to ever look, but when you put the DVD in, I thought for sure, I'm like, wow, I don't remember that DVD being that bad where this is the best they could do. And I put the DVD in and I'm like, it doesn't look much different. But a lot of people I talked to, they said, "Oh, I didn't have anything to compare it to." So, again, that's just me. It probably can't look any better, but I think Second Sight killed it with the packaging and the stuff they have inside and the documentary and stuff like that. But as far as the picture quality, I mean, I guess it's passable for a 4K of Martin with the elements that they had to work with. But you know, if I compare it to some crap movies that Vinegar Syndrome puts out that makes these things look like they came out yesterday, again, that's just me when it comes to the Martin release. I like it. I'm happy to have it, but I was expecting better quality. They didn't have the negative. They didn't have the negative from Martin. It doesn't exist, I don't think, anymore. So I think that's where the problem was. And yeah, it was very grainy, which grain is fine, but it was very grainy. The next one is another Patrick Dempsey movie. Someone needs to put this out. Can't Buy Me Love. Excellent movie. It's like, it fits right in the realm of a John Hughes movie to me. Very cool comedy if you guys haven't checked it out. Another one, if you check on my rad recommendations list series that I do, me and Justin from Watch Daily did a full retrospective on this one. awesome movie if you guys haven't seen it. I don't know what the deal is with this one. It feels like Patrick Dempsey's kind of stuck on DVD, like Mischief. I mean, no, not Mischief, Loverboy and all this stuff. Like he's kind of stuck here right now. And this is a Touchstone movie, so I don't know if anybody knows where that kind of stuff went now. Touchstone Pictures. I don't know. So I don't know who owns this at this point. The next one. All right, so I do have this on Blu-ray. Super Mario Brothers. But this is this is from Second Sight. But you needed a Region B player to play it. So I've had this a long time, but this is another movie that I think needs a new release. As weird as this is, I almost kind of feel like, imagine like Vinegar Syndrome giving this like a VSU. That'd be pretty sick. I think Arrow would be pretty cool if they gave this a random box set. I don't know where the rights are to this now. I have no idea. But Second Sight did do this. Maybe they'll do a 4K. That would be great because then it'd be region free. But yeah, Super Mario Brothers from 93, I believe it's a 93 movie. Trying to see if it says on here. I think it was 93. But yeah, I'd like to see this get a better edition. This is fine, but I think this might be out of print now, and I know a lot of people don't have this edition. So yeah, that's definitely one that I think somebody should get their hands on. Oh, disconnect. Ryan said Umbrella released Mario. It's region free. Was that recent or is that old? That's not the one I have. Wait a minute. Oh no, this is Second Sight, yeah. Oh, all right. It's got the work print on there. I will look into that actually. I will look into that if it's got the work print on there. And I know I see someone talking about Terminator. Yeah, I know Terminator 2. Everybody says it. I never bought the 4K just because I heard so much bad things about it. So I just have the Blu-ray of Terminator 2. I think that needs a new release. I saw that Arrow did like a Terminator 2 packaging deal. I think it was for April Fool's Day, but that's kind of what I'd like. Matching packages, Terminator 1 and 2 together. I don't care if it's a box set or two separate ones, but have them match, kind of like what Vinegar Syndrome did with Freeway, how they kind of had them go right together. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what we need from Terminator and Terminator 2. I'll be really cool with that. The next one is one I've talked about 100 times on my channel as well. This one needs something, guys. It had a Laserdisc and a VHS tape. So this is a bootleg, and it is Summer Camp Nightmare. And this was supposed to get a release, and it got pulled because I had it pre-ordered, and I can't remember what company was doing it. This was a long time ago, though. This was like pre-Vinegar Syndrome days. And it got pulled, and my order got canceled. So I don't know where this thing kind of lies now. But this, to me, is a lost 80s gem, if you guys haven't seen it. It takes place at a summer camp. It's got horror elements to it. It's got kind of like a Lord of the Flies type feel to this as well. Very, very cool. Chuck Connor's in this. You've got a lot of 80s, kids that were hanging around those horror movies back in the day. Tom Friedley is in this as well. Very awesome movie. If you guys haven't seen this, I would try to track it down. I don't know where it is. It might be on streaming or something like that. I'm not sure. Sorry, guys, on the chat. I see people saying stuff. let me see. Hold on. I'm just way behind. I see Jamie Harden here. What's up? Christian, what's up? What's up? What's up? JS, what's going on? Oh, that's a good one. JS brought up a good one. Perfect. I would love to see Perfect on an upgrade. I don't care if it's 4K or Blu-ray. Jamie Lee Curtis, John Travolta. Love that movie. It's about fitness centers. It's a freaking awesome movie, and I hope that someone does that. I don't know the story on where it is, but Perfect is a really good movie. And I definitely recommend it. I see people talking about Tough Turf. Yeah, I have that Blu-ray. I would buy Tough Turf on an upgrade of 4K though. That's one of my favorite movies. So the Blu-ray I have is Kino, I think. It looks fine. I've owned Tough Turf on all formats, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. I would buy that again on 4K. The next one. I've talked about this a lot on my channel with Dead Pit. We're both really big fans of this one, a coming-of-age story. I actually talked to Don Coscarelli about this movie And the last I knew, Disney owned it, and he said his goal was to get it back because it just as soon as they bought Marvel, they kind of put this movie on the back burner. And basically, he said it's probably never going to see the light of day, so he was trying to get it back. And then he posted like an HD image from it, and we thought, okay, is he trying to tell us something? But then that was like a year ago, and nothing since. And that is Kenny and Company. Really, really awesome movie. This is from the 70s, guys, and it's actually it's got Michael, what is it? Michael A. Baldwin. Is that his name in this? Is that his name? Yeah, Michael Baldwin from Phantasm. He's in this. It's a really good movie. It's a coming of age story. If you grew up in like the early 80s, late 70s, you can really relate to it. Kids are skateboarding. They're going to, kids' birthday parties where they show you going shopping with their parents, having to find their friend toys. And it just really brings me back to like being a little kid. And, they're going trick-or-treating together and they're riding bikes and just a lot of cool stuff in this movie. It's a really fun movie. Kenny and Company. I hope this gets some kind of release in the coming future. I could see Vinegar Syndrome getting that. I could see even Severin getting that. I could see Kino getting this as well. Very, very cool movie. The next one I have is The Willies. The Willies is I think it's 80s, late 80s. Let me see. I don't see it on here, but late 80s movie. I love this thing. It's cheesy. Sean Astin's in it. What's in this is what's his name there? Oh my god, it's late, guys. I'm getting what's his name? I don't want to say Donkey Lips. I don't want to call him that. It's Michael Ray Bauer is in this as well. Very, very cool movie. And I think it needs an upgrade for sure. I don't know where I see this falling. Vinegar Syndrome seems like something they would do, maybe. Again, I don't know where the rights fall on something like this. This was an Echo Bridge title back in the day. So, The Willies is something I definitely want to see upgraded. It's a fun... actually, you know what? I did a deep dive on The Willies with Christian Hanna on his channel. We talked about The Willies. I think Ken might have been on it with us too. Mid-Level Media. I think us three did it. I could be wrong, but we definitely talked about The Willies over there. It's a fun time. It's definitely like one of those like Halloween time type fun movies to watch. This one is Stephen King, The Night Flyer. This is an awesome movie. Very underrated kind of vampire flick. I love this thing. It's still got a snap. I hate these snapper cases more than anything. Sadly, I still have it. I can't wait to upgrade this so I can get rid of this thing ASAP and get it off my shelf. But Night Flyer, super cool movie. I'm surprised no one's taken that. This is a New Line, an HBO title, so that could be telling us why we're not getting it. So if it's falling in the same category as something like The Hitcher because of HBO, that's probably why it's still sitting around, for sure. Let me see. Next one. All right, I'm going to do these in a segment. So I wanted to talk about this. I would like a box set of these. So this would be... Please find this. So John Fasano, I think that's how you say his last name. He did 3 movies in his career. And here we go. Rock and Roll Nightmare. Black Roses, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. And The Jitters. Okay. None of these have any kind of Blu-ray. I don't know what the deal is with this. Synapse put these 2 out. Synapse did these 2. This one was put out by, Bayview Entertainment, so I don't know what the deal is with The Jitters. But we talked to Don May about it, and he says he doesn't have the rights to these anymore. So I don't know where they are. I think he said they might have, like, the masters may have been lost or ruined or something like that. So maybe that's why they haven't gone back and upgraded these, because they just don't have the master to do it. But I would love a company to do a box set, like a John Fasano box set, and just have these 3 in there upgraded into 4K or Blu-ray or whatnot. But I think that'd be awesome. It's really cool. They're like rock and roll horror movies. The Jitters is a little bit different. It's not like that, but it's still kind of horror comedy-esque. But yeah, this would be really cool to get these three in a box set. So that was kind of like a wish list type of thing. A John Fasano box set. I know that's not the most popular thing to say, but something I definitely want. Did he do Zombie Nightmare? He did? I thought he only did 3. Unless I might be thinking of maybe there was an actor that just was in those 3. I don't remember. For some reason, I thought those were his only ones. I do have Zombie Nightmare, though. I actually like that movie a lot. All right, next one. All right, these ones I'm going to put together, too. I know they can't come out with a box set, but to me, these kind of go together. So the first one is 3 Ninjas. Look how cool that cover is. That needs an upgrade. This was a staple for me growing up. I'm trying to see who put this one out. Touchstone did this one as well. I don't know why this doesn't have a new release. I think this is a kind of a fan favorite type of movie. This would be a pretty sick, I don't know, VSU title or something like that to go with the sidekicks. Again, it's that early 90s. Everybody's doing karate movies after the Ninja Turtles was such a huge hit. But man, I love 3 Ninjas a lot, and I would love to see somebody get their hands on it. For all I know, Disney owns this, and that's the holdup. And then along with this is, speaking of Ninja Turtles, is Surf Ninjas, which is another banger. It's like it's cheesy, but it's fun as hell. Another one from my childhood that I absolutely loved. Yeah, I would love to see this one get its due on an upgrade as well. So you got the 2 ninja kid movies from the early 90s. All right, I'll get back to the chat. I have a lot to talk about here. We've talked about this 100 times. Encino Man, the Rad Pack did a full breakdown on this, so you can go check that out on their YouTube channel at Rad Pack Pod. We just put out a podcast talking about it as well. Encino Man, love it. Last I heard, Disney owned it. That's the problem with this. But this definitely should get a resurgence, especially now with the big love for Brendan Fraser that everybody has. This needs an upgrade. I know Disney also was in talk saying, hey, we're going to go back to physical media. Well, I hope whoever has this can get us Encino Man and have some cool special features or documentaries and stuff like that. All right, now this next one is another like a dream box set. So Vinegar Syndrome has been doing a lot of like Cynthia Rothrock movies. So for me, it's like, hey, why can't we get a Fast Getaway 1 and 2 2-pack? Because we got Cynthia Rothrock and Corey Haim in here. And I would love to see this in some kind of like Vinegar Syndrome 2-pack. Fast Getaway 1 and 2. That would be so sick. I want that a lot, actually. That's always one title when they say they're releasing like an 80s martial arts movie. I'm like, oh, please be Fast Getaway 1 and 2. You know, huge Corey Haim fan. I would love to see some of his stuff get some treatment because technically these are still stuck on VHS. These are bootleg DVDs that I got a long, long time ago. But this is something I definitely want to see get a new treatment. And the same thing with this movie. This is actually probably... I like this better than I like Fast Getaway, and that's Corey Haim and the Dream Machine. This is a real cool 80s movie. I really, really like... Actually, this came out in 1990, but it's really, really cool. It's about Corey Haim and like this fancy car. It's just a classic kind of like, you know, teen comedy type thing. This is a real, real cool movie. I think someone should get their hands on this. I don't know the deal with Corey Haim stuff because there's so many Corey Haim movies that are still sitting on VHS and DVD. I don't know the deal if like there's a rights issue, if his estate has his movies on lock. I don't know how it goes, but even like the ones that were out, like Lucas and License to Drive, are like long out of print now. So I don't know if there's an issue with the Corey Haim stuff, but I would love to see Dream Machine get an upgrade. As far as who puts it out, I could see maybe like Kino doing it, maybe. Something like that, I think, would be a cool one for them. Same thing with this one, Gleaming the Cube. This is another fan favorite that everybody wants to be released. Gleaming the Cube would be another cool one to get a new edition for. Another 90s, you know, talking about rollerblading and skateboarding and stuff like that. Really, really cool movie. I hope that somebody puts their hands on this. I don't know who I would think. I mean, I keep going back to Vinegar Syndrome because they've been kind of going outside the box with things besides horror. I know Gleam in the Cube is something everybody wants. I mean, I could see Kino MVD Rewind or something like that throwing this one out. And then I think my other Corey Haim one, we could talk about The Watcher. That's a cool one. I don't have it with me. I didn't bring it out. But people always talk about The Watcher. That would be cool. I know Scream Factory did Watcher 2. So to me, it only makes sense that they could get the first one and you could kind of stack them together on the shelf. That's another one. This one, Prayer of the Roller Boys. I do see Vinegar Syndrome doing this. That seems like something that they could probably put out. This is a real cool movie talking about rollerblading. I absolutely love this. It's Patricia Arquette, Corey Haim, 90s. He's got killer hair. He does rollerblades. They wear duster jackets. I mean, what else do you want? This is something I definitely want to see. So let's say like Vinegar Syndrome, Kino, something like that. Let's get us Prayer of the Roller Boys out on physical. And the company that did this DVD was Maple. So I don't know if anybody knows where that is now. Let's see. Okay. This one's a little bit more mainstream of a title, these next two. I was talking to Ken about this and Christian. And it's something I've wanted for years. They promised us that we were going to get some kind of, I don't remember what it was called. It had a special name. And it was going to be volume 1 and 2 combined into like, you had the option to watch it as one long movie with extended scenes, or you could have 2 editions. You could watch them just by themselves. And that's Kill Bill volume 1 and 2. Now I know it has a Blu-ray and stuff, but I want that like bloody edition or whatever they've been promising us for years. But what's cool about this edition and why I still kept this in my collection was this was a pretty cool little promo Best Buy did back in the day. So what they did was Kill Bill Volume 1 came out. So you bought it. Boom. And you had it in your collection by itself. Then Kill Bill Volume 2 came out. Now, Best Buy did something where they said, hey, if you buy Kill Bill Volume 2 from us on DVD, we're going to give you a box, a limited edition box. So I think this might have been like the first week only, or they only had a certain amount per store. I forgot how it worked. But if you bought this, you'd be able to get this with it. And then you'd be able to put both editions in this nice, sweet box set. Now, how cool is that? That's what more companies should do stuff like this, where they give you incentives. I think I said that about like Scream Factory, for example. Like when they did their Halloween sets, they could have had a bundle that said, hey, buy Halloween, what was it? Halloween 6 H2O and Resurrection. It's going to come in this box, but this bundle will have a box that will house all of them. And then you get it, you pay an extra $10, $20, you get the box, you put all your stuff in it. And then what? That's going to entice people that maybe said, you know what, I'm only going to buy 1, 2, 3, 6, and I'm not going to buy 4 and 5. I just don't like those. But all of a sudden you have the option to get this box and you're like, well, you know what, I'm going to pick up 4 and 5 so I can put them all in the box. To me, like that's smart marketing, is throw things like this in there as an extra bonus. So then you can house all your stuff in here and then it looks like a nice collection. That should have been an option for the Child's Play stuff as well. Like, hey, this bundle has this, and you could get a box that will fit, that'll house all your movies in there to sit on the shelf together. That's something that people should do that are thinking outside the box. That is just, to me, this was a genius idea, and it still sits in my shelf. You can see this part right here. It's nice and thick. Looks really cool. But I'm still waiting for that killer, that long cut. They're going to splice them together. They're going to mix. I forgot what it was called, but I'm waiting on that. So nice 4K of the Kill Bill with all the extra goodies that we were promised. Same story in a way is they keep releasing Wayne's World on 4K Steelbook. But Wayne's World 2 is like still sitting around. Like, where is Wayne's World 2? Same deal. Look, Wayne's World 2. Boom. Wayne's World 1. Looks nice together in this nice fancy box. This is what I want them to do. Either if they gave me a 4K Steelbook with Wayne's World 1 and 2 on it, I would have bought it in 2 seconds. But I passed on the 4K Steelbook because I want part 2 as well. So if they come out with part 2 by itself, but no Steelbook, then I wouldn't want the Steelbook for part 1. Like, they have to go together on the shelf. And I hate when it's like Steelbook and then regular edition. Like Steelbooks need to stay with Steelbooks, in my opinion. Regulars stay with regulars. So whatever they want to do, I just think Wayne's World needs an edition where we can get part 1 and 2 together. All right, the other one I want to talk about, we've talked about this before. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. The Rad Pack's going to do an episode on this the beginning of May. We were going to do it in April, but things have just gotten hectic over here. So we're going to do it for the podcast in May. Love this movie from the 90s, but it needs a new edition. And I think this kind of is the same boat as Encino Man, where I think they say Disney might own this. But this also has an HBO tag on the back, so it could fall in the same problem as like things like Hitcher and stuff, where HBO just kind of hangs on to it. But it's just odd because this was kind of a big hit. And it is a snapper case. I need to get rid of this. But yeah. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Now, the next one I'm going to show is the last physical copy I have. And then there's a couple that I'll just kind of spit that I don't own. And then I'll just get back to the chat and we'll close it up. So, I talked about this on we did a show the other night on the Rad Pack channel, talking all things Garbage Pail Kids. And I was talking about different 80s movies that I watched as a kid that, had to do with just kind of like these weird, puppets or, live action things. And this was Purple People Eater, which is a pretty fun movie. I mean, again, I haven't watched this in many, many years. But I remember as a kid, I really liked it. To me, this screams Severin Kids. They put out like, My Grandpa's a Vampire. They did Peanut Butter Solution. I think this would be a real cool one for their line. And Purple People Eater. And another movie I do have on DVD, but I didn't bring it out, was Electric Dreams, which is weird because I think it's on Scream Factory, Shout Factory's digital app. Like if you have an app, you can watch it, but they don't have a physical version of it. I think that is another missed opportunity. I would love them to do a physical version of that. But Purple People Eater. Severin Kids. All right. So I'm going to spit off a couple I wrote down over here. The Madball movie. We talked about Garbage Pail Kids last night. Madball had a cartoon animated movie. I would love to see that get some kind of treatment. I think it's only sitting on VHS. Some horror movies like Iced, which is like a real cool 80s, like takes place in the ski slope type movie. I could see like Arrow putting a nice little addition to that out. I could see Vinegar Syndrome doing that. I could see Severin doing that. I could see TerrorVision doing that. Nightlife, 1989. That's another one that's stuck on VHS. I would love to see a company do that. I would also like to see Are You Afraid of the Dark get an HD treatment. I don't know if that kind of series can get an HD treatment, but I do have like a bootlegged series on DVD, but it's like quality of like what an old TV would have been like. So I would love to see them get a little bit of better treatment. It's a great show. Absolutely love it. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. And there's another movie Michael J. Fox called Light of Day, which is a pretty cool movie with him that I'd like to see get some treatment. But yeah, just wanted to spit a couple things out, things different that maybe you guys weren't, normally hearing. I could go through mainstream movies, or say, hey, I want this going from Blu-ray to 4K. Like, nah, like I'm not gonna get nitpicky like that. Like, I want to see this on 4K instead of my Blu-ray. To me, it's like I just need this thing off of VHS, off of DVD. Give me a nice, edition. Put some care into it. Make it HD, make it 4K. I don't care. Just do something with it. That's kind of what this was all about. Is think outside the box, do something with it. Give us some different titles than just rehashing the same things over and over and over again. Like I said at the beginning of my stream, I don't know legalities. I don't know the rights issues. I don't know. All I'm saying is, hey, here's some ideas that I have. Here's movies that I would love to see. These are the movies when Vinegar Syndrome says, hey, there's secret titles coming out. These are some of the movies that I'm like sitting there waiting for. And sometimes you're happy, like with Sidekicks. That was one. If you watch my old video when I did this, that was right up there with the movie I wanted. So I think there's opportunity. But if anybody is watching this that has any kind of say or connections or anything, like just take a look at some of these titles and see where they're at, because these are some ones I think if people haven't seen them, I think they definitely like. So I still, oh my God, I've been on here way longer than I wanted, and I've got like 65 people sitting here. So really quick, guys, hit the like button if you're watching. Number one, hit the like. I appreciate you guys watching me so late. I know I do have people on the West Coast. I know I have people from other countries, so maybe they're checking it out. Please come and say hi if you're not. I'm going to scroll through the chat really quick, pull up a couple more questions um, that I think could use a good answer, and then I'm going to get out of here because I have been up and working since all hours of the morning. I'm tired. I'm sore. WrestleMania really bummed me out. So thank you guys for coming on here and let me just kind of rant and rave about some of this stuff because instead of going to bed bummed out. So appreciate that. West Side. All right, let me scroll up and see who I missed out on. There's probably a lot of who. Cass, he's talking about Kenny and Company. Yeah, was that the dummy that they threw in the road? That could have been that one. Someone saw an orb. Really? Could have been. Let me see. Hey, what's up, Scott? You're in Australia. Oh, wait. Oh, in Australia it has a DVD. Okay, that's cool. Well, welcome, man. Thanks for popping in from all the way from Australia. Mill Creek needs to pick up the pace on the VHS slips. I think they still have the rights to cool ones. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, the only thing, actually, hold on. I do have one of those there. I have this over here. I did upgrade this. The fan. But again, like, I mean, the slip's cool, but there's nothing to these. Like, this is nice. It's neat, but there's nothing here. It's bare bones. You get your 1080p, which is fine. I mean, it's better than the DVD, but like, this is cool. But for a lot of these titles, like, I want something a little bit more like. I would be happy with this. Don't get me wrong. The Mill Creek VHS line or whatever, I would be very happy with that. But some of these movies, I think, a little more TLC. Try to find some, deleted scenes, documentaries, something about these movies. Oh yeah, Little Darlings. I forgot about that one. Huh. Interesting. I forgot about that one. Yeah, somebody brought up Perfect again. Zombie Nightmare. Oh, so there's a Japanese Blu-ray of Kenny and Company. That's interesting. I wonder if that's the still that he showed from. Yeah, there's a lot of TV shows that need upgrades and stuff. That's a good one, Small Wonder. I do have Small Wonder, the series, but it's a bootleg series. I would love to have Small Wonder on a legit nice series. What's up, Anthony? And I'm losing subs. Yeah, dude, it happens, man. I went through a period of time where I was losing subs, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I was like, what's happening? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes people say some people will sign up, like, let's say 2 years ago, and then all of a sudden they just don't have a channel anymore, and it gets scrubbed out. But I think it happens now. Every once in a while you'll lose some subs. I don't think it's necessarily something you're doing, maybe, or maybe it's something I said or whatever that I could have. But sometimes I think it's just like a random scrub that maybe YouTube does. Oh, Gleam of the Cube was filmed near you. That's cool. Oh, is Lionsgate who owns the rest of the Watcher films? Then that would be cool. I would love to see the Watcher with Corey Haim on the Vestron label. That's what it was called, The Whole Bloody Affair. Yes, I've been wanting that thing for like ever. Yeah, so I guess probably since 2007. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's still out there. I'm like, why can't we get this? It was going to give you both movies, then it was going to give you like one movie where everything was spliced in like a specific order, and I really want to see that. Somebody said something about Tarantino. Yeah, I was talking to Ken and Christian the other day. I was going through my Steelbooks, and I was like, wow. I was like, I have like a lot of Tarantino stuff on Steelbook. Like, I wonder if I should just stay that route and try to get them all. And then as soon as I went to the Best Buy, like, to look for something, what's sitting there is like Inglourious Bastards on Steelbook. And I was like, well, I guess I got to get this too. So I think I'm pretty much caught up. I know Kill Bill did have Steelbooks, but at this point, I'm just going to wait and hopefully they just re-release it. But Yeah, I pretty much almost have all his stuff that's been released. So hopefully, when they release things like Foxy Brown and stuff, it'll go. Is that what it is? What am I thinking of? Not Foxy Brown. Jackie Brown. Hopefully they put that on Steelbook. I can't believe it's been 20 years since Kill Bill. I can't believe it. Um, Paramount was ridiculous for doing a Blu-ray steal and a 4K steal. Yeah, dude. All these companies are doing that, and that's why I'm like I'm mainly sticking to boutique now because I don't want to play that game unless it's like something that comes out and I'm like I know right off the bat like this is the only edition I want, and I'll get it. But I don't want to go back and forth. There's been a couple times I've bought something day one and then something better came out a little later. It's ridiculous. I think they're just, and it's for Wayne's World. I used to do that. Yeah, and you're right because I do remember when that happened. I didn't buy either of them because I have the Blu-ray and I really want to try to get part two somewhere, and I want it to match. So I'm kind of waiting on that. Manhunter, yeah, that's gonna get an upgrade. That'll get an upgrade. Faculty, yeah. I mean, Phantoms. I think I only have Phantoms on DVD, but I do have a Blu-ray of Faculty. But I think it's I think it might be like Mill Creek or something like that. It's one of those kind of labels. But I wouldn't mind seeing a better edition of that. I'm sure they will if they have the rights to it. Tales from the Dark Side. I mean, I know Scream Factory put out a nice Blu-ray of that. It felt like not too long ago. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it, man. I am really at the point of quality over quantity. I have to be because number one, I'm tired of buying the same movies over and over again. Some movies I will do that for, but not everything. And at the same time, space, right? Like people that are collecting now that haven't really had to deal with that yet. That's a big game changer when all of a sudden you're like, okay, I literally have X amount of movies taking up all this space, and now it's going to have to go into a different room unless I try to cut bait, and then it gets hard because I don't like to throw things away. I don't like to part away with things, and you always kind of find a reason to keep certain things. Like, well, it's the same movie, but this one has a different documentary. This one has. I'll keep both, right? So it's a slippery slope, man, and I don't think people realize that until all of a sudden space becomes an issue, and then they're like, okay, something's got to give, and that's never fun. Because I've toted, like, there was a point in time where I had everything on shelves, and then I had all this other stuff, but then I ran out of room, so I had to start making choices where, like, well, if I already have this if I have this on DVD and I have it on Blu-ray or 4K, then I have to pull the DVD off the shelf. Which for a while I didn't have to do that; I could keep it all there. But then it became okay. I'll tote all those up to now create space for more stuff to come in. So it is a little bit more about quality over quantity for me for the most part. But there are some passes I'll give. Like Vinegar Syndrome's one where there's been a couple times I blind bought some stuff that I hated, but there's been a couple times I blind bought stuff that I loved. So, like, I'll let them pass just because I really like what they're doing over there. Even if the movies aren't the greatest, but I just respect everything that they're doing. They haven't really screwed over the fans. They haven't really pulled any kind of weird, shady stuff with the fans, and you can tell they put really good quality into their stuff. Like for instance, I just bought on the sale a partner label. It was like a ninja movie, and I love 80s and 90s like martial art movies like that, like kind of hokey ninja movies, like things like Miami Connection and Jim Cotta and No Retreat, No Surrender. I don't know this movie, but I bought it because their partner stuff's been selling out, and I'm like, oh, if this is going to be a hidden gem that I don't know about, I'll be excited to have it. So it might be good, it might not. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to skim through because I am getting really down here. That's cool. Cool to see somebody bought Airy Indiana up. That's a good show. I have the DVD set of that, but it's been a long time since I watched it. I always remember that damn Tupperware episode. That was such a good one. Oh, Tales from the Dark Side TV series. I have the DVD box set of that. Man, that is a creepy ass opening on that. I love that song. But yeah, I would love to see that in HD format. I just don't know if it exists. But guys, I've got 66 people in here. Very late on a Sunday. It's going to be another crazy week for me. It's been a really crazy couple weeks over here. So I don't know when I'm going to be on this again. I'm going to try my best to be on here a couple times this week, just to keep content flowing. You know, if it's either going to be dropping a video or doing a collab or doing an up all night or something, just because, again, I don't want my channel to stay dormant for too long. And I love hanging out with you guys. And man, I've got that Chucky NECA right there that I need to do unboxing for. I haven't even taken him out yet. So that's definitely a video that you're going to get in the next couple days. So based on how many hours I have to work tomorrow, I might get home and do that unboxing and then try to edit it out and have it up by like maybe tomorrow night or Tuesday. But guys, thanks for hanging with me. It's awesome that I have 77 people now this late. And especially, like I said, I was watching WrestleMania. I was kind of bummed out with the ending, and I was kind of like, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm tired. I've got to work in the morning. But you guys always make it fun, and it was cool talking about this stuff of like, you know, just kind of letting it out there. And if anybody who's coming in and watching this on the replay, you know, feel free to leave a comment on some of the movies that I've shown. Have you seen some of these? Is there anything that maybe I missed that you would have liked me to talk about? And hopefully I helped a little bit too, because like I said, you know, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Like we do this stuff on here to showcase things, tell you what we like, tell you what we don't like. It doesn't mean you have to buy everything we buy. Okay. Like I'm going to be honest with you guys on here if I think something's good or not. Like, again, I talked about Martin. The video quality of it, I wasn't too impressed with. Ryan, who knows his shit, said he thought it was great. Again, like people have different eyes, right? So you could, I even said on my review, I would buy it. If you don't own it, buy it. If you want the best version, to buy it. So it's still a buy on both ends at that point. But again, not everybody has exact same opinions about certain things. So guys, just keep collecting, keep, you know, being smart with it. Like I said, sometimes quality over quantity is just as good. Don't spend over your means at all. That's not what we want to do for you guys. We don't want you guys to feel like you have to do that kind of stuff. But again, thank you guys so much for hanging with me. I'm trying to think if there's anything in particular that I have coming up. Just definitely the Chucky thing is coming up. Dead Pit and I are going to be doing like an Evil Dead physical media history video coming up. I know those ones for a fact. In 2 weeks, I will be with the Rad Pack at Panic Fest in Kansas City. So hopefully, Ryan, if you're still checking this out, make it there, or we're going to do lunch or something, man. But we're going to be there, dude. So hopefully I'll be hanging out with you and we can do a little vlog or some kind of thing together. That'd be rad. All right, guys, thank you for checking this out. Hopefully you guys liked it. Please hit a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. And hopefully you guys can get a kick out of some of the other content I have on here. Like I said, go also check out the Rad Pack podcast. We have our own YouTube channel now, and I know a lot of you guys haven't transferred over there yet. So definitely go just look up the Rad Pack on YouTube, sub over there, and that's where you're going to find all the video live shows and all the video version of our podcast that's on all streaming platforms. So thanks again for checking this out. This is Garrett at Born to Be Rad, and like always, stay